dare via.
Il y a un fichier qui veut être partagé. Oui, un par un, c'est bien.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our third seminar about economy of communion. And we are glad to be here today with three young entrepreneurs around the world to tell their stories and share with us their path. Just to quick introduce, we are having this these different seminars. This is, as I said, the third one, as part of the course of Benedetto, who is the professor here with us, as part of the Master in Economics and Management here at Sofia University for a civil and sustainable economy. So we are looking for models and stories that can inspire us to a more, again, civil and sustainable economy and business. Quick introducing myself. My name is Lucas. I'm from Brazil. Before coming to Sofia, I was working as an entrepreneur in the educational field there, and I thought it was a good investment of time and energy to spend some time here at Sofia to immerse myself in a different perspective of business and to draw from it in terms of innovation and how to run business that can be a force for good in the world. And I will pass to Boris that he will present himself and also give us a quick overview about our program today.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We greet also those who are following us on YouTube in streaming. My name is Boris Nimbo. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm a student at Sofia in first year. I'm doing economics and management. And as a previous background, I was graduated in chemistry in my country. And I decided to do economics and management here at Sofia for grasping, for learning this new model of enterprises that Sofia proposed to us, and maybe apply that in my field and hopefully in my country. So anyways, today's program, as Lucas said, will be a little bit dense and complex because we'll be traveling from a country to another. And we will see together also how he or she finds resonance in brave people based in different places in the world. And we have special guests. The first one will be Fabian, ASONG from Cameroon. The second one will be Agustin from Argentina. The third one will be Isa from Philippines. But besides presenting their own activities, they will also give us or provide us some personal stories and motivations. But before that, we are going to listen to a very special guest also named ISAIAS Hernando. He's a business manager, but also the EOC International Co-Coordinator, to whom I would like to give the floor for a quick introduction.
Quick notice before Isaias taking the floor. We have two translation channels here, one to Italian and the second one to Portuguese. So if you couldn't find yet, just go in channels here at Zoom, and you can find the translation channels. Thank you. Isaias, it's up to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So it's a great pleasure for me to be here sharing this session with you I think in special dates. So you know that in a few days we will celebrate the 31st anniversary of the Economic Communion. In fact, it was May 29, 1991, when Chiara Lubich launched in the city of Sao Paulo in Brazil, what at that time was defined as the bomb of the Economic Communion. It was a bomb because the idea behind it was that the main function of the profits of a company or any type of economic activity, so the profits which are generated collectively with the contribution and work of many different people. So the main function of the profits is not the remuneration of the capital, but the creation of wealth to share in order to combat the terrible inequalities existing in our societies, and that way build a fairer world with opportunities for a decent life for all, thinking especially of those most in need. So during these 31 years, this vision of the economy against the flow, and considered a bit naive at the beginning and even crazy for the mainstream economic thought, has been put into practice and brought to life by many people on all continents, and not only in the field of business, but also in the fight against unchosen poverty, as we learned in the previous webinar, and even in the small daily acts of an economic nature, and has been studied and developed from an academic point of view, and doing it with scientific dignity. Today, we will specifically learn about the inspiring experiences of 3 startups, as we have said before, on 3 different continents, Asia, America, and Africa, which are beginning the journey together with others already consolidated also in Europe and in other countries, which over the years have managed to generate a true organizational culture of communion. By the way, regarding this, do not miss, if you can, the book written by Anouk Reben that have just been published, available, unfortunately for the moment, only in French, with the title Research on the Culture of Gift in Business, which analyzes with a scientific method the impact generated by 4 economic communion companies, mainly through the eyes of their employees. So I think that it would be a very interesting input for you. So the fruits of the life of these 30 years are very varied in terms of lived experiences, processes that have been initiated, and the impact generated. A network of companies, a network of academics, a network of projects to fight poverty, the launch of processes in synergy with other realities, as prophetic economy or now the economy of Francesco. All this make the economy of communion a complex reality, and in some sense difficult to classify, to identify. But in 31 years, the world has changed a lot. The original idea of the economy of communion is no longer considered crazy by everybody. Many other experiences of solidarity and fraternal economies have emerged. But in my opinion, the category of communion remains central to express the profound vocation of the economy. As Professor Zamani says many times, solidarity is important because it allows those who are different by origin and social situation to be equal. And fraternity is also very important because it allows the inverse operation, so that those who are equal as brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of the same father, can be different. But communion emphasizes something that Pope Francis repeats a lot lately, which is interdependence. So everything is interconnected. And communion has to do precisely with relationships. We feel that the deep truth that sustains each one of us is the same truth that sustains other living beings and sustains the world that we perceive as our common home. So everything exists in relationship. And the primary vocation, I think, of the economy, which is written in its original name in Greek, so oikos nomos, oikos home, nomos rule, is the care of the common home and its inhabitants. The common home is only cared for if the common good is cared for, which is the good for all. And that means taking special care of people living in situations of poverty. Because chains break at the weakest ring. You can have many, many strong rings, but the chains in the societies break at the weakest ring. For all these reasons, I'm convinced that the economy of communion still has much to offer to today's world, considering the challenges we are facing now. It depends on us. It depends on the fact that there are still people willing to concretely live communion in daily economic relations. So that is why we also think that we must make an effort to universalize the economy of communion proposal. So building a new narrative, but without losing the charismatic roots, and above all, without losing the connection with the concrete life of people, which is the humus for creativity and innovation, also for the future. This is also the challenge of the Pan-African Congress that is about to start, and about which we will learn more during this webinar, which is to build an economic communion open to the future, universal, and at the same time completely African. So I don't want to take much time because I know that the program is very dense, but I want to say just thanks to Sophia for this initiative and good webinar for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Isaias, for this enlightening opening, putting in front of us the vision to pursue and what makes this idea of economy of communion so strong. And so we are going to start to dig more on this, look into reality and how different realities are applying this vision. We are, before starting with the entrepreneurs, moving to Africa. So Steve and his colleagues, tell us, you have more or less 5 minutes. Please share with us this moment of yours.
Yeah, okay, before giving to you the floor, let us precise that there is already a group that is coming from, I think, different countries in Africa. I see someone from Congo, I don't know, from other countries. So we greet you and we give you the floor.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Manye. I'm from Nigeria. I'm somehow the coordinator of Pan-African Commission. So, first of all, we want to thank you. Thank you, Benedetto, and thank all of you for this opportunity given to us to share this special with you. Yes, we are here for the preparation of our African Congress of POC. Many people have arrived. This Congress will start in 2 days' time. We are really happy because it is a dream come true. And we thank you, all of you, for your support and for your encouragement, especially our International Commission. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Lulu from Kenya. And as Nonye has said, we are here already welcoming people. We are happy, already have some people arrived from Madagascar. We have people from Cameroon. We have people from Congo. We have people from Ivory Coast. And we are waiting to welcome many more from Congo, from Burundi, from Benin, from Nigeria, from Tanzania, and Uganda. We are very happy and we look forward to a very fruitful Congress. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have all those people coming from all across Africa to share this moment with all of us. And all together, we will have plenary session, and we will also have a startup lab incubators moment, during which we are going to train each other. The entrepreneurs who are to come will be trained on budgeting, first of all, creativity, budgeting, business model, especially communal business model, and communication, to have the tools to strengthen their different ideas, or the tools to strengthen their different business projects or any other activities they are doing on a daily basis. As we are today on a Startuppers webinar, we are having online here with us some Startuppers present, and it's a pleasure for me to let them say hi for a few minutes to you. Corneille and
Salut, salut à tout le monde, Michel du Congo. Nous sommes dans l'équipe de communication. Et si vous voulez nous suivre, n'hésitez pas de vous connecter sur notre page Facebook, IOC Congress. Et nous sommes aussi sur Twitter. Vous pouvez nous suivre là-bas.
Hello, good morning. I'm Kemcha Martin Tiku, young entrepreneur from Cameroon. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Regina Kelsey from Cameroon, and with a burning desire to know more about EOC and also to engage in as a researcher in EOC.
Hello, everyone. I'm Handy. I'm a young entrepreneur from Congo, DRC, and it's a great pleasure to be here and to take part of this Congress after 11 years. Yeah.
So here we'll be on stage, physically present in Kenya, but there is a link where any other person from all over the world can follow us and can be with us through the link, because the Congress is also an online moment. And as Isaias mentioned in the beginning, on 29th is the celebration of the 31st anniversary of Economy of Communion. We are going to celebrate it together with some other people around the world, UC entrepreneurs, and it will be a feast. An online feast and presential feast. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We are happy to be with you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. We thank you for this presentation. Maybe a very quick question to know what will be the specificity of this second Pan-African edition. If you can just summarize in one phrase, if possible.
Yes.
First of all, the specific of this Pan-African Congress is to come together as African entrepreneurs to encourage ourselves, because we find out that POC, part of Africa, are still timid. So we want to encourage each other, because this idea started last year after the celebration of 30th anniversary of POC. So we said, how do we Africans celebrate this? We thought it is not enough to do it in our different countries. Let us come together to Africa and to look at EOC together and plan our vision, to know where we are going, to look at our realization, our challenges, and then plan for the future. And then the second is to send the youth, as Steve said, to put the future entrepreneurs through this part of plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We thank you. Thanks a lot for this moment. We hope that you will really enjoy this Congress, and all the best to you. I don't know if you will follow this, the following parts of this webinar. Otherwise, we wish you all the best if you will leave before. Thanks a lot, Kenya, Nairobi, and all the best for this second edition of Pan-African EOC Connection. Okay, so right now we are going to introduce another entrepreneur. I think the first one who will present to us his experience. It will be Agustin. Let's start with these. Yeah, thank you, Lucas. Lucas asked me to start with Isa. Isa, she's an entrepreneur who is running a business in Philippines right now in the food sector. So Isa, we give you the floor for presenting to us your business. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon to all of you. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita ninyo sa akin. Ako si Isa Nugas from the Philippines. As what I've said, thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm honored to be here speaking to all of you. You know, my first trip in Italy, out of the country, was in 2004. That was in Florence, Italy, wherein I attended the intercultural studies together with the young people coming from all over the world. From then on, I always have fascinated with the beauty of the world in terms of culture, arts, people, food, and friendship, in which it led me to work in a cruise line company. So in that way, it gave me a chance also to travel many parts of the world. And then my last employment prior to having my startup business was handling an exclusive importation of US products to the Philippines, wherein I was tasked to start and manage the whole Philippine market. As an international company, it was always motivated in sales, marketing, and to always double the escalation of the target quotas year after year. There, I learned more about the ins and outs of how corporate business works. I've seen and experienced the people's jealousy, steep competition, and even burning bridges of relationships. On the other hand, I appreciated more the importance of true relationship over money. And then one thing I observed that was not given focus in that business was the social responsibility of the company. At some point, I said to myself that if ever I would have my own business, I hope not to be only driven all about income generating. My heart is always for the culture of giving and sharing in any way that I can offer, since I have known the economy of communion. So I made a promise to myself that I will retire as an employee on or before I reach 40 years old. So I promise to do what I love doing the most, and wherein I can really, to have the freedom to execute everything according to my dreams and goals and what God wants me to do. Ever since I have known that I will someday start a business that I passionately love doing, which is all about travel. This was in 2019 when I officially retired as an employee and came up with a company named Isa Travel Bagtail, or Tuklas Travels. Tuklas Travels, as the brand name, stands for discovery and exploration. Here I've met, I was able to partner with a group of Bagobo Tagabawa indigenous people from my region, Davao. The partnership that I built with this community was to allow tourists to have a deeper knowledge of their culture and to interact with them. But I made sure to build a rapport, knowing each one's personally, to respect their own culture, beliefs, and daily needs within the community. Most of the proceeds of every tourist participation were extended to their livelihood assistance. So this kind of indigenous cultural immersion has gained a lot of deeper understanding, beauty, and exchange of services and camaraderie. Among other tours, you may check, please, next slide, please. I also offered educational tours about the preservation and knowing the importance of taking care of our environment. However, the development of these new tours was short-lived because of the pandemic happened. Thus, the Isabella Tree of Life was conceptualized. So Isabella Tree of Life connotes a lot of meaning. Isa in Filipino means one, and Bella in Italian means beautiful. Isabella strives to always partake in the nature's beauty and communion with as many lives as it can touch. Thus, the Tree of Life is the perfect moniker for our enterprise, We chose a name that highlighted the significance of this tree since we mainly focus on coconut tree-based products. Just like the coconut trees acquire distinct uniqueness as it grows, we also aim to grow and become strong as we go through life as a brand, gaining more knowledge along the way. With all the realities and new challenges that arise, the global pandemic that shook us hard and realized the value of one's being, I had a lot of realizations during those difficult times, and I did a lot of drastic adjustments. Each day was quite heavy to drive me in being productive. But then slowly I learned to start embracing the skill of letting everything go. So I immediately immersed myself into meditation, yoga, and aromatherapy oils. With all those months and a year of practice and self-healing to recoup, I found a chance to share my personal recovery. So both personally and professionally, I always have believed that there is opportunity in adversity. Even amid the global coronavirus pandemic, new beginnings have emerged. Our extra virgin coconut oil was the base for the first aromatherapy product I brought to the market. It was first used for personal health and healing during crisis. Thus, it marked the debut of the Isabella Tree of Life to the general consumer. Since the founding of Isabella Tree of Life, it has always advocated using only organic fruit and its byproducts, particularly organic extra virgin coconut oil for consumption, for use of massage, and nutritious ready-to-eat snacks derived from the coconut meat. All products are of premium quality and are derived directly from the organic farmers, sources, guaranteed export quality. And I was very lucky to find a producer who is also in sync in how we want to introduce a business and to help continue the livelihood to the local farmers. Again, in my heart, I have always the desire to share this business and the profit earned with those who needed it most. One of the closest neighbor is a friend of mine who was out of work, and she was taking care of both of her two sickly older sisters. I have learned, this context shared by Anouk Driven during one of her talks about the principles and business practices of EOC. Anouk, she's a professor of management and also the responsible for the Commission of the Economy of Communion. One of the contexts, she said, to be producers of communion, one must give oneself the readiness to embrace others in helping them. So at that moment, I lose my own problems and think about the others who needed more help in those times. Having this one as my top priority, indeed, providence arrived. So last year, during the holidays, we were able to get clients and purchase customized gifts and giveaways in bundles. And my friends' talent and skills in designing the packaging were indeed a big contribution for this one. In a way, my friends' family felt the relief and of the burden in their hearts on where to get their food and medicine expenses. This has always given me a big push to never give up and just to continue ahead no matter how difficult things might get. It gave me so much purpose and reason to offer more of my time, my love, and devotion of what I am doing right now. This year, we also got the chance to have a physical pop-up display inside a big mall. Government assistance. I also tried to reach out to unemployed mothers and provided the opportunity to sell online even without a startup capital, by just introducing and sharing Isabella's products. So the same goes also for the online resellers that embrace and believe in our mission. Our mission is to empower local and online distributors to celebrate organic local products and create new entrepreneurs through value-oriented sharing of meaningful locally made products. Our goal is to be a source of sustainable, healthy daily products. We're in the world's most dynamic supplier of coconut byproducts and ethically conscious of promoting the culture of giving. For this year, I intend to launch a drive for sustainable piso or peso per product sold. This program, we would like to allow every user or buyer to be part of any extended livelihood development to the local farmers, unemployed mothers, and unprivileged youth, now locally, and hopefully we can also share it globally. With the Isabella Tree of Life, I believe that I will be traveling and visiting other countries to introduce the best quality of extra virgin coconut oil and its byproducts. I will continue to help and assist directly the local organic farmers, within our region, together with my partners in bringing ahead the economy of communion. So thank you very much for your time, for listening, and I hope I was able to partake in how each one of us can actively take on each responsibility to be a gift for one another, even beyond any startup business.
Thank you very much, Isa, for sharing your story, personal story, and how it merges also with your professional perspective and your business right now. Since I was not able to show your photos in the beginning, here, I would just show because they are so beautiful. In the, when you talked about your passion, about traveling, and the first initiative about tourism, sustainable tourism as well. So thanks for sharing that. I will enjoy this moment to ask you one question, and before moving to the second presentation, which is what are the models of enterprises or entrepreneurs that you have in mind that you can share with us that somehow inspires you or somehow gives you some practical tools to deal with your challenges? So what are the benchmarks, the other enterprises or entrepreneurs that you have in mind to share with us?
Thank you so much, Luca, for that question. There is one particular company that really inspired me, this is APSE, is also part of the economy of communion here in the Philippines. They do the business in the marketing and distribution of local and international publications. But at some point when they were already losing profit in running this business, because a lot of us already shifted to digital publications and subscriptions, it became quite difficult for them to continue. So at some point, they felt really, just if they could have closed the business. However, they've considered the employees' welfare on that very moment. Especially, they've been there throughout the years, being with them. So instead of closing the business, what they did is to really, they put everything in common, They shared what's going on, what we can do, to help each other. So not really to close this business, because if they would only think about themselves as the owners of the company, you could just easily let it go and find another opportunities. But no, they did not do that. So this experience they had, it really inspired me a lot, not to think only about how much my own business can earn, because we can always let them be part of our business, when we thought that we have nothing more to give, but in fact, when we show to them to be an example that there's more that we can give, since so was with them, our employees or those who have nothing for them, they thought nothing else to give, they can be also an example for the others. You can always give your time, not everything could not be just in monetary matter. You can always look after also what are the missing needs on that very particular family or that very particular friend. So this is always has been my inspiration.
Thank you so much, Isa. Maybe we can clap for you. Thanks a lot for this amazing presentation about Isabella Tree of Life in Philippines. We really feel the passion when you are explaining this company, and it's a proof that in the EOC structure, there are some companies that are behaving in a very right way and are an example also for those who are out of the EOC structure. Thanks a lot, Isa. And for those who have any question, we ask you to write them in the chat. Maybe at the end, we'll collect some of them for answering. And right now, let's land in Argentina to meet another interesting entrepreneur. You'll discover him. He's named Agustin CABEZAS. Agustin, are you with us?
Okay. Hello, how are you?
Fine, Agustin.
Okay. Well, hello, my name is Agustin. I will tell you my little experience about Desenvueltos. Sorry for my poor English. I am professional in tourism. My specialty is working with indigenous communities and little local farmers, developing tourism to include local people in this activity. I worked in this activity by 10 years. And its activity helped me to look the problem of trash waste, because in these little towns, there are not garbage collection service. So people burn trash, plastic, aerosol sprays, and everything. Here in the city, you take out the garbage and it disappears. It's dangerous think that it disappear. Unfortunately, when I was interested in this thematic, I find zero waste movement. It consists in generate the least amount of garbage. So in pandemic time, I think, well, this is the perfect moment to create my store here in my city, in Salta City in Argentina. It not exists, and there are not ambiental movements or awareness about the protection of environment. So I create with my wife Desenvueltos, that it's a zero waste store. We think that it's important for this movement because here you can buy with your own containers without generating plastic waste. Avoid food waste, and the most important thing for us is the relationship that we can create with local entrepreneurs that produce food or some sustainable products, and we give opportunities here. Local entrepreneurs find a place to sell their products. We sell toothbrush made with wood, for example, or solid deodorants, solid shampoos, and other sustainable personal care products. Obviously, food in bulk. Well, if you can, if it's possible, we can show some pictures that I send you. We think that it's a good opportunity to create relationship with our providers, with the team, We are 4 people that work there. And this is a little store, and it's not in the city center. And the prices are very good. Well, and we think that it's an opportunity to give people this message. And to create environmental awareness. Well, we try to make our small contribution to the care of environments. We think that it's important that we have to change the way we buy all the society, and switch to a more responsible way of purchasing. Well, there are some pictures, and thank you very much.
Augustine, thank you very much for sharing with us. Also, your personal view of the world and the problems around you, and how you merged it within your career and your professional activity. One question for you, maybe one harder than I made for Isa, is this one that I'm sending also in the chat, if you prefer reading. But how was the financial challenge for you in the beginning and this initial phase of the business? Because you are selling goods, you have a space, you are dealing with a new kind of store. So how was it for you in the beginning, this financial challenge for starting the business?
Well, it was hard because the economical situation, because I worked in tourism, but well, with a little, I don't know if it's correct, a lease is correct, with a leasing.
Okay.
It was possible.
Like, you mean like a loan, right? When you borrow money to start the business.
Yes. And some money that I have before, but it's hard to start because people don't understand the thematic of this business. But I think that the most important thing is the relationship that you create with people, when people understand that it's something original or something that is real, that it's a thing that you think that you are convinced, your idea, the objective of this little store, well, it is important. It's the best marketing, that you are sure what you are going on.
Nice. Thank you very much, Augustine.
Okay.
Benedetto is writing to me, to us in particular, saying Augustine also had a special treatment by his landlord. It's worth sharing this experience about how this relationship with the landlord, maybe of the space, was important for you in the beginning.
Yes, it was very, very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Agustin. We maybe gonna clap for you. Thanks a lot for this interesting company also in Argentina. We also realized that in the EOC structure, there are some companies which are taking care of the environment, according to what you have explained to us. And it's really interesting, and it gives us also more hope in this EOC in the future, in fact. So thanks a lot, Agustin. For those who have some questions, please write them in the chat. Right now, we are going to present another company from Cameroon, but unfortunately, we are not in contact with Fabian ASONG. He's absent, but Lucas is going to take his place and present us an interesting company in Cameroon named Nature's Gift. This company is operating in the agricultural sector in Cameroon. So, Lucas, the floor is yours for telling us what is it about.
Thank you. Yeah, just to double check, Fabian is not here with us, right? He told us that he probably was going to have an internet problem for connecting, and just to not lack this important voice from Africa, we are going to read the text that Fabian sent us, that he was going to share with us, but in this way we can feel his experience. Yeah, and I'm going, yeah, Julio, please share the photos that Fabian also sent to us. So I'm Fabian, CEO of Nature's Gift from the southwest region of Cameroon. I have a team of 16 people whom we work together. Our area of operation is production and transformation, especially agriculture produce to finished products. By doing so, we educate and empower the local communities on crops and food preservation to prevent waste. We educate farmers on crop multiplication and transformation. For now, we do transformation of cassava into animal feed, fertilizer, flour, and biogas. So that's why transformation. Then plantains, potatoes, bananas into flour, cocoa beans into butter, powder, chocolate paste, and chocolate bar, white and brown chocolate, and beverage. We educate on the importance of farming, construction and installation of bee hives, so bees in plantations, harvest and use some of the honey with medicinal plants to produce medicinal wine like ginger wine, turmeric wine, aloe vera wine, and lemongrass wine. We started with production and producing different types of soaps, liquid soaps, powder, tablet, laundry soap, and toilet soap, which is medicinal, produced from medicinal plants. One of our main goals in education and empowering local communities who are greatly affected by the war in the southern part of Cameroon, to enable them generating income with for their livelihood. What made me really to start with medicinal soap production was once working with an NGO. So we are seeing again the personal and the professional paths. I was the research person in charge for training local communities on livelihood programs. In one of the communities, I was so touched with the health situation of the population, especially women and children. Most older them had rashes on their body. This was contagious. I was so worried how I could help them. I found one partner, I found one herb called lucha, good for treating rashes. That's how I started using it with other herbs to produce medical soap, which help which helped and today is still helping them so much to treat skin infections. Today, most of the women are able to produce and sell not only medical soap, but the powder and liquid soap as well. We produce more than 40 different products, which are exhibited in our shop for sale to the public. Though we don't rely on funding and have never gotten one grant, we put our resources together and get the raw material we need for production. When we sell, we divide the profit into three. 50% is back in the company, 35% is this, their salaries, and 15% for the less privileged community or the need. It's not a bed of roses, working with people with different ideas and different cultures, but we try to put God always at the center of what we do. It's even more challenging working now that there is war. I had to spend 2 weeks in the forest running from bullets just for one reason: love for those in need. Thanks to God, I finally arrived at the community where they had been waiting me. I gave the women and the girls training for 5 days on soap and production of sanitary pads. This was a very important moment for me, training these women and girls because of war now find refuge on the bushes. The training gave them some relief. We visit them from time to time to follow up. I tell you that this is a result of the economy of communion spirit. Very important also is helping the local communities on identification and uses of some medical plants as a remedy to their health problems, as they are not able to have tablets or drugs in the forest due to war. Greetings to you all, and thanks to Chiara, who is now in the heaven, Mariapolis. EOC has come to stay. Ciao.
Wow. Thank you so much. Maybe we can clap even if Fabian is not among us. It's an interesting company. We are so sorry for Fabian because he's not here. The company was named Nature's Gift in the agricultural sector in Cameroon. Once more, we can understand how much the term or the expression local community is always coming back in each enterprise we have listened to today. In Isa's one, Augustine's one, and in Fabian one. It shows also that the economy of communion is always trying to fight against poverty, because in most of these local communities, I think they are living in situations of poverty. So this is one of the aspects of the economy of communion. Thanks a lot, Lucas, for this. I think now we are going to do a moment of sharing that Lucas will manage. So for those who have questions, you have just to write them in the chat and we'll try to select some of them for answering. Lucas.
Great. So as Boris just said, please write on the chat if you have some questions to ask Augustine and Isa, our special guests here. We have more or less 10 minutes for this final moment of sharing. Well, I would like to start with one question, which is Isa and Augustine. What do you consider is the main challenge that you are facing right now to develop the business, and what you are doing for overcoming this main challenge? So it was clear, the question? Whoever wants to start, go ahead. Maybe we can start with Isa and then going to Augustine.
Okay. You always call me Lucas. Well,
He was the first, so.
one of the biggest challenge, number one, the business or the products that I've introduced to the market is not something that is unique. However, I always try to make sure to add more value on what we're giving to the general clients or consumers. So it's quite difficult to penetrate, especially as a startup business, to introduce it in already existing bigger market. However, through those small community that I was able to have this relationship, little by little, we are already trying to penetrate a specific target niche that we have. Because if you let them understand what's the value proposition of what are you doing, it's not just only generating profit that we're doing. So when the buyers or the people will learn about it, themselves, they would also help you introduce your products to the others. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Lucas.
Nice, perfect. So as I understood, finding maybe the way to deliver the most value to your customer according to your main resources that you have, the good products that you have, the relationship with the suppliers that you have. So you are in this initial phase of the business, try to understand what are the best combination of products and how to offer them in terms of understanding your customer and maybe matching it with the highest value proposition that you can, right? In this sense?
Yes, you get right. Thank you.
Great challenge. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Isa.
Augustine, do you want to respond that?
Yeah. For me, the main challenge at this moment is the rent, because it's so difficult. I need to increase the rent. Here in Argentina, we have an important inflation. This year, we have 75% of inflation. That it's so hard. The prices increase all the time. Well, this is the priority for me, to not to close the store. We are in a very difficult situation, and it's a personal question for me, which is the priority, the stores, the rent, or the employers. And we can think that it's an easy question, but all the time you have to analyze and search some ways to increase the rent. Well, give the priority to the employees. We have 2 employees that are, three. That 2 of them are young people, that they are students. The work it's important because it gives the opportunity to study. So this is the priority, but we need all the time to think to increase in the rent. Economy of communion proposed to share the rent, but when you don't have rent, it's difficult. Well, it's a hard time nowadays, but well, here we are.
So I understand that is related to what Isa also shared in terms of increasing sales. And in the beginning, I understand that it's the main challenge, right? So you understand your customer, the value proposition, and start to increase the sales in order to stabilize the financial part. And you also share that you have a difficult analysis of how to prioritize financial, right? So you said the rent, the employees, the job is important for them, but you are still struggling in the beginning to increase the sales. So how to equilibrate these demands is also a challenge. And I understand that these challenges is maybe even greater than you have when you have this humanistic perspective of the people you are working with, in terms of considering the people that you are working with and the business, right? So I can understand your struggling and challenges.
Yes, people think that be an entrepreneur, it's magic, it's fantastic, but it's difficult because at the morning you wake up thinking in the store, providers, the money that you need to pay all the things, and when all the time you are thinking in these things, it's difficult to share the rent. But well, this is the reality. Some important people of economy or communion told me that the money is like the air there, yes. Well, because we need air, entrepreneurs need the money. It's not the most important in the life, the air. We need air to live. People need air to live, but it's not the only thing that we have to do in our life. We don't live only for inspire. Well, the entrepreneurs are the similar thing. The business don't have to live because only for the money. But if you don't have money, you don't have nothing. The business disappear. So it's an important architecture that you have to build.
Mm-hmm. Great. It's a kind of dreaming pragmatically, right? So you have a vision, you want to, you have a purpose, but you know that you have to be pragmatic and have some air in order to live and to lead the business alive. Nice. I would enter in this topic that you said, Augustine, about the struggling of being an entrepreneur, especially in this early stage that both of you are. And we have two questions here in the chat that are going to this same direction. One is, and maybe I will share, beginning with Isa and then going to you as well, just to alternate a little bit. But those different questions were, the first one, what drove you to start the business, knowing the challenges that you have? So why did you started? And the second one is related to the economy of communion. You started, let me just check. You wanted to do business in a different way and then started participating in economy of communion, or the opposite? You were in the economy of communion movement and then you the wish to start a business came. So where does it come from, the wish to start a business, and how it's related to economy of communion?
Okay. First, I would like to answer the first question. How I was able to start in spite of these challenges, like what I've shared earlier. Isabella Tree of Life was born during pandemic. It started when I had this aromatherapy oils, using it personally. And then I just realized, I keep it to myself, wherein I can share it to everyone. So it started there. I did not start in a big capital, as you know. I started in small ones, based from the savings that I have, given I already started the tourism, travel and tours business. And so slowly, little by little, the income that I've earned from what I've sold, I kept enrolling it until I expanded the products. So from there, I was able to expand and add on products. In terms of the financial, I'm trying to keep it as like the profit earned mostly. If you can, the question, how can you still share? Like what I've shared earlier with regards to my friend. I always believe in equality, right? You can give at least 50% to them or 50% to you. But on my case, I always feel that I am blessed, being able to have my own, in my own comfort zone. Like we doesn't belong in a family, but I am very blessed to be alive and to have my parents and my family with me in a very good health. So knowing that there's someone who needed more than me, I would share more than the 50% of the profit to them. And then as long as I keep a portion to keep the business rolling and sustainable. Now, the question of, did I start doing economy of communion already prior to having the business? For me, it came on, it's like a hand, how would I say it? Even if I haven't declared that I want to be part of the economy of communion, in my heart, I've already been doing it. Hearing about the talks from those who have been in the economy of communion for almost 30 years, I've already known what are the important things that we have to consider when we partake and be part of the economy of communion. So as long as we have this in our heart, I think it will just follow, so now I would really say that I'm doing this for the economy of communion in my own, as of the moment, here in my local region.
Thank you very much, Isa. We just let me check. Fabian is here. Maybe he could just enter. He's connecting. Nice. So we have a question here that maybe goes direct to him. Let's see. Just Fabian, you are here with us. Connecting to audio. Augustine, do you want to respond while Fabian is connecting? Do you want to respond this question about your main motivation to start and the relation with economy of communion to start the business? And then we move to Fabian.
Yes, my relationship with economy of communion, it starts, I think, 12 or 10 years ago. I participate in many meetings of economy of communion, and it was incredible for me. It was a very good experience. My dream was to be an entrepreneur of economy of communion. Yeah, I think that it's the best way to change the world, the economy world. It's the best answer. For me, the most important things is the proposal to change the culture. Change the culture, I think that is the most important thing of economy of communion, because we need to change the thing that we our ideas, our culture about. It's not a problem capitalism or yes, the capital, the money, all the problems are cultural. So this is the most important thing, and I fell in love with these ideas. I have a recently experience that I have was that the owner of the building of our store, he has another 2 built to rent, and the last month he had to renovate the rent, and the other building he increased 100% because this number is normal here in Argentina. And when I thought it was very hard. So when he told me that he will increase us only the 40% of the rent, and it was because the relationship, the interesting of our idea, and he thought that these entrepreneurs, it's important for society.
Great, thanks for sharing. So you were immersed on this environment and dreaming about being an EOC entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you are also collecting and see some benefits of being business in this way. Thanks for sharing. Just to check, Fabian, can you hear us? Are you with us, Fabian?
Fabian ASONG from Cameroon. Are you with us?
Maybe he's still with some trouble. Yeah. Okay. So I will move to finish our seminar in the last words of each one of you, Isa and Augustine. We received 2 questions, maybe 2 or 3, also in the private, just for us, related to some curiosities about the economy of communion. So one question was related to the relationship with the employees. So, okay, but you as an entrepreneur choose this path of economy of communion. How the team deals with that? Are they in that also? Or maybe your suppliers, are they interested in this vision of doing business as well? We had, I would just read and then you just comment on what do you think is best for sharing. We received 2 other ones that is related to economic communion in terms of decades ago, from the beginning of the economy of communion. Do you think it's a growing movement? Do you think it's been good for society? It's proving its value? And the third question related to the theme, what's going on in economy of communion right now? So what's some trends that are what we are seeing, you are seeing in the economy of communion field? I don't expect that you replied all of these questions. I just read it to you in terms of to you see some curiosities for our public here about how do you guys, being entrepreneurs, see economy of communion. So maybe you can finish, we can finish our webinar hearing these last words about from Isa and Augustine about how you see economy of communion right now.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucas. First and foremost, I would really like to thank each one of you for being in this together, learning about economy of communion. I would like really to put emphasis on about the economy of communion, how important to me. First, does earning more money really matters a lot. Second, does the relationship between you and your employees, your suppliers, or even the consumers or the buyers, would you put that in the topmost priority? Or lastly, would you put priorities with the goods that you are offering? I would say, the top priority would be always the relationship. The relationship that you have for each one, not only towards the buyers, but most especially to the people you are working with. They are your number one source of capital of this business that you would like to continue. And then looking beyond, not only how much they can earn or how much you can earn, but to really build this kind of relationship that you could also look after the welfare of their families, of how are they doing, In this way, we can really introduce the economy of communion to everyone. Because as what I've mentioned before, like from the previous experience I had with a corporate business, we are always driven of how much, always getting a more income, more money generation. But how about this income that we can partake to the others who have really nothing, or the poor, the poverty? So, but giving just money to them is not enough. So we really have to at least give our all, ourselves to them, and our time and our devotion. So I hope we can really spread the economy of communion, especially to the startup ones who would like to start their own business in their own way. You don't really have to make it as huge and big as possible. Start little by little, and eventually having this grateful heart, the desire of always, giving and sharing, you will always be given a lot of providence.
Thanks, Isa. Augustine?
For me, at this moment, economy of communion, it's important to join with other movements like Sistema B or B system, or solidarity economies, or all the movements. And economy of communion needs to join and give the thing that it's different to these other movements, that is the culture, the reciprocity, the trust, the relation, that the most important thing is the personal relationships that you build with your employers, with providers, with your customers. And another thing that I think is that it's important, gives economy of communion in the university to educate in the schools, because nobody speak. I'm not sure that it's nobody, but it's not common to speak in the universities about economy of communion. And I think that it's important to give these ideas to young people to make a different society, to build a different society where the most important thing is all the people, not you, and that the be a rich people is not the power of buy a lot of things. It's not the most important at the relationship. This is the rich.
Thank you so much, Agustin and Lisa. We thank you for this moment of sharing, for these interesting answers. Thanks a lot, and we are so sorry for other questions because we didn't answer to all the questions because of the time constraints. And right now, maybe before finishing, we are going to give the floor to Benedetto Gui, who is the professor, the initiator also of this webinar. Maybe for one word, since this webinar has been organized in, as part of the course of social, civil, and sustainable economy of communion, of course. So Benedetto, the floor is yours for a word.
Thank you. There is one sentence that I would only add. That communion is the most important, scarce, let us call it good, of which the world, especially the economic world, has an intense need. All those who have spoken today are doing their part ahead. Our students are learning a lot, and they will use their skills, which are plentiful, I must confirm, to continue this path in new forms, in new places, but for the same dream, for the same adventure. And this is the wish that I extend to everybody. As far as Sophia is concerned, we will try to continue to provide some opportunities for this sort of exchange. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks a lot, Benedetto. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this initiative. I think we are at the end of this webinar. It's not the last one, of course, as Benedetto just said. And we also thank our translators. Araceli was translating from English to Portuguese. Marta Panqueva also was translating from English to Italian. So thanks a lot. I don't know if Lucas has the last word for saying goodbye.
Thank you very much, especially Isa, Augustine, our translators for this inspiring moment. See you in the journey.
See you. Thank you, Isaias, also.